There's a calm sort of power in a woman who's no longer dressing to impress anyone but herself. You can see it in her posture, in the way she carries her handbag, and, very often, in the shoes she chooses to wear. Because after 50, something shifts. You stop reaching for shoes that just get the job done, and you start choosing pieces that reflect who you've become, refined, discerning, and beautifully unbothered by trends. And that's what today's video is all about. The subtle, elegant upgrades we make as women of style and substance. I'm sharing 8 types of shoes that truly elegant women over 50 simply don't wear anymore, and what we choose instead. Let's begin with the first. First, Faux-Vintage distressed boots. Now, I'll admit, there was a time when I loved a distressed boot. Something with a bit of character, a little slouch, a few intentional scuffs here and there. It felt artsy, a little undone in the best way. But with time, I've realized, true elegance doesn't have to perform. When boots are pre-scuffed, pre-faded, and designed to look like they've lived some mysterious life before they even reach your doorstep, they don't add charm. They add noise. Elegant women don't need their shoes to come with a built-in narrative. We've lived enough of our own. Instead, I now reach for classic leather ankle boots in rich, deep tones: espresso brown, slate gray, bone, or soft black. I look for real leather that softens and ages naturally, not because a machine rubbed dye off the toes. A pair I've worn for years is from ATP Atelier, a sculpted almond toe ankle boot in smooth Italian leather. No hardware, no distressing, just pure, refined simplicity. It pairs beautifully with wide-leg wool trousers or a midi-length skirt. And best of all, it looks even better with age. That's the key. If a shoe is already pretending to be aged when it's new, it won't wear well. Invest in quality now, and let the beauty come from the life you live in them. Second, cartoonishly chunky Cork wedges. We all had a pair of these once. Maybe you still do. Thick Cork soles, a rope trim around the bottom, canvas straps, maybe even a flower or some glitter thrown in. They were fun, easy to walk in, and back then, they felt flirty and modern. But today, they feel heavy, loud, out of step with the kind of polished presence we've cultivated. Chunky Cork wedges don't complement an outfit, they compete with it. Especially when you're wearing something refined like a tailored linen trouser or a breezy midi dress in silk or cotton voile. Instead, I opt for slim-structured sandals with a low heel and clean lines. My go-to summer pair is from M.A. Parsons, a sculptural sandal in soft nude leather with a wraparound ankle strap. It adds height without volume, and it lengthens the leg without pulling focus. For something more elevated, Gianvito Rossi makes an elegant kitten heel sandal with a single front strap in buttery suede. It's flattering, timeless, and doesn't need to be loud to be lovely. When in doubt, step away from platforms and rope soles and lean into simplicity. Remember, quiet feet support a confident stride. 3. Overdesigned loafers and moccasins. Loafers are a wardrobe staple, but they can go wrong quickly, especially when they're overdecorated. You've seen them. Tassels, fringe, contrast stitching, big shiny gold bits, two-toned leather in clashing shades of beige and burgundy. Once upon a time, they may have felt like the perfect mix of classic and quirky. But today, that kind of loafer just feels tired. When I see a shoe trying to do too much, I know it won't age well. And it certainly won't support the kind of clean, intentional wardrobe I now aim for. So what do I wear instead? Minimalist loafers with a sculpted silhouette and quality leather. I love the loafers from Aid, particularly in neutral tones like oyster or slate. They're modern without being trendy, structured without being stiff. If you want something softer, Margot makes a demi-loafer in suede that's as easy as a slipper, but elevated enough to wear with silk trousers or a sharp blazer. The elegance is in the restraint. No need for tassels or contrast stitching. Just soft, sculpted shape and thoughtful design. These are the kinds of shoes that don't distract from your outfit. They complete it. 4. Foam or plastic mules, no matter how comfortable they seem. Let's be honest, there's a certain kind of shoe that made its way into our lives because it was just for quick errands. You know the one. Foam. Maybe rubber. Probably in a bright color. Easy to hose down. The kind of mule you swore you'd only wear in the garden, until it ended up being your go-to for everything. But here's the truth. Even errand days deserve elegance. When you slide into molded foam mules, you're not just stepping out casually, you're sending a message. One that says, I stopped caring. And I don't believe that's ever true. We care deeply about how we move through the world, about how we represent ourselves, about feeling put together even on the most ordinary days. So instead, I've swapped those rubber mules for structured backless flats in beautiful materials. A pointed toe mule in buttery leather. A softly squared flat in matte suede. Something that glides on easily but holds its shape and your dignity. One of my favorite pairs is the Day Mule by Everlane. It's clean, minimal, and effortless. Perfect with ankle-length denim, a knit top, and a trench. Easy doesn't have to mean unconsidered, because the woman who's built a refined life deserves shoes that reflect it, even when she's just stepping out for coffee. 5. Pouch-style fabric flats with no structure. They fold, they roll. They come in little pouches and promise you the world. Comfort, flexibility, and the convenience of always having an extra pair on hand. And I'll be honest, I fell for it once, maybe twice, but there's something about shoes with no structure that always feels unfinished. They collapse around your foot. They slouch at the sides. They often flatten out completely after a few wears. And visually, they do nothing to anchor an outfit. When you're aiming for quiet luxury, your shoes should have presence, not padding. So I've replaced all those pouch-style flats with real ballet flats in real materials. Soft leather, suede, a hidden inner sole that supports your arch, and enough structure to hold the shape of your foot, not smother it. For something timeless, I love the Porcelli Italian ballet flats. They're made with care, and they age beautifully. For something more luxurious, the Chanel two-tone ballet flat in beige and black is a classic for a reason. It softens the line of the foot while anchoring the entire silhouette. These are the shoes that carry you through your day with grace, not just because they're pretty, but because they're built for a woman who knows exactly who she is. 6. Comfort. Shoes that prioritize function. But forget aesthetics. There's a certain kind of shoe that always seems to be recommended to us after 50. You know the ones. Super wide soles, orthopedic arches, thick foam padding, Velcro straps, often beige, often bulky, and always marketed under the banner of comfort. And I'll say this with compassion, because I know what it's like to want relief from sore feet, aching knees, or tired arches. But there's a difference between choosing comfort and settling for shoes that completely disregard your style. Because let me tell you, you don't have to sacrifice elegance for support. We live in a golden age of thoughtful footwear design. It's entirely possible now to find shoes that are ergonomically smart and aesthetically beautiful. So if you're still wearing those comfort shoes with cartoon-thick soles and elastic straps, let's elevate. My go-to brand for this is M. Jemmy. Their Feliz suede drivers have a padded sole, soft arch, and hug the foot without squishing it. They feel like slippers, but look like something a woman with a silk scarf tied around her hair would wear while driving through Tuscany. Isn't that the energy we want? Another brilliant option is Archa, a French brand that specializes in flexible, supportive shoes with clean European silhouettes. Their rounded toe suede slip-ons and architectural wedges are supportive without being clunky. And if you need more formal support, try Sarah Flint's Natalie Flat. It has built-in arch support and a slight hidden heel for better posture, and it's stunning. Feminine, classic, refined. Elegance and comfort are no longer at odds. So let's stop choosing shoes that feel like a compromise and start choosing ones that feel like alignment. Because at this stage in life, we deserve both. 7. Flashy statement. Heels that dominate the outfit. Now let's go in the opposite direction, away from comfort shoes and into a very different kind of fashion. Faux pas. The statement, heel. I'm talking about the ones that sparkle, shine, or tower. Bright red patent leather. Animal print stilettos, embellished pumps with brooches on the toe, or lace-up straps that wind halfway up the calf, often worn for a night out, a party, or a why not kind of occasion. And while I absolutely support dressing boldly when it feels true to you, these shoes often say more about the shoe than they do about you. There's a certain elegance in restraint, and elegant women don't wear shoes that fight with the rest of the outfit. We wear shoes that frame it. A statement shoe can easily take over the look, especially when the design feels trendy or attention-seeking. They're also harder to pair well with timeless pieces. That gorgeous wool midi skirt suddenly looks awkward when paired with leopard stilettos. A crisp white silk shirt feels off-balance next to towering platforms with rhinestones on the heel. Instead of trying to make the shoe the star, I found so much more impact in choosing heels with architectural grace and rich texture. Think a low-block heel in velvet, a sculptural kitten heel in satin, a pointed toe pump in matte Italian suede. My go-to is the Aqua Azzurra Forever Maryland pump. It has just the right amount of femininity, with a delicate cutout and tassel detail at the back. Nothing excessive, just elegant lines, soft structure, and a heel height that makes you feel poised, not pitched forward. Another brand I turn to is Loeffler Randall. Their pleated fabric heels come in beautiful neutrals like sand, blush, and oyster. Subtle texture, perfect shape, and infinitely wearable. You don't need your shoes to scream to be noticed. True elegance doesn't beg, it simply arrives. And when your heels are thoughtful instead of theatrical, they don't pull attention from your outfit, they enhance it. 8. Slip-on sneakers with chunky soles and sporty logos. Let's end with one of the most popular, most worn, and, dare I say, most misused shoes in our closets, the slip-on sneaker. Now, to be clear, I'm not here to shame comfort. I love a good walking shoe. But what I'm talking about are the oversized, foam-soled, logo-laden slip-ons that feel more like a gym shoe than a fashion choice. They often have stretchy mesh uppers, bold branding splashed across the side, and soles so thick they look orthopedic even when they're brand new. Sometimes they're in loud patterns or colors. Other times they're in beige or gray but still visually heavy, dragging the eye down and flattening the entire outfit. And here's the thing. When your shoes look purely utilitarian, your entire outfit starts to feel the same way. You could be wearing beautiful high-waisted trousers and a cashmere sweater, but if you slip on sneakers that look like they belong on a treadmill, the effect is lost. So what do elegant women wear instead? We still wear sneakers, but we choose them like we choose everything else in our wardrobe, intentionally. My favorite alternative is the classic low-profile leather sneaker. Clean lines, no logos, neutral color palette, white, cream, stone, or even a soft blush. Just enough structure to support the foot, and just enough polish to elevate the outfit. Brands like Common Projects, Wedges Esplar, and Loro Piana's Open Walk sneakers all offer styles that feel quietly expensive. Nothing flashy, just well-made simplicity. If you want something more feminine, look to Cezanne or Freda Salvador. Their leather trainers have delicate top stitching, almond-shaped toes, and feel more like a wardrobe staple than a sports shoe. The key is to treat sneakers as part of your outfit, not a default. When chosen with care, they can be every bit as refined as a loafer or flat. I often pair mine with tailored trousers, a relaxed button-up, and a trench coat. Sometimes with a knit dress and oversized cashmere scarf. The shoe grounds the outfit in ease, but never in laziness. That's the difference. When your sneakers feel elegant, your whole outfit walks differently. 9. Overly trendy square-toe heels. Let's talk about a shape that's had a huge moment in recent years, the square toe. Now, a subtle square toe can be modern and flattering, but what I'm talking about are the overly boxy, fashion-forward styles, with wide, flat toes, angular footbeds, and straps that look more like folded origami than footwear. These shoes are often paired with statement heels, puffy leather, or bold colors, and they're usually seen as a quick way to update an outfit. But the problem is, they tend to do just the opposite. Because the moment the trend passes, the entire shoe feels out of place. And when your shoes date your outfit, they date your presence. At this stage of life, we're not chasing trends, we're curating longevity. And there's something beautifully ageless about a shoe that's shaped with grace. Instead of those hard, boxy angles, I reach for soft almond toes or gently tapered silhouettes that flatter the foot and elongate the leg line. Even a well-proportioned round toe can look incredibly chic when the material and finish are right. I've worn the Manolo Blahnik BB Pump for years, especially in taupe suede and navy satin. The toe is sleek, the heel is slim but wearable, and the entire shoe melts into the outfit, never overpowering it. For a more accessible option, Everlane's Day Heel is one I always recommend. The low block heel adds posture without discomfort, and the glove-soft leather gives a modern woman everything she needs: comfort, elegance, and ease. Because the best shoes don't interrupt your style, they support it, beautifully and quietly. 10th, ultra-glossy patent leather flats. Patent leather has long been associated with formality, and when done right, it can add a polished touch. But what we're seeing too often now is a shift toward overly shiny, plastic-like patent flats in loud colors and awkward embellishments. Think candy apple red with an oversized bow, or shiny black with gold trim and visible stitching. Sometimes they have thick soles or rigid uppers that squeak with every step. The intention might be to add youthful charm, but the result often feels stiff, synthetic, and ironically, a bit outdated. Why? Because shine, when it's too intense, draws the eye away from your outfit. It distracts, and that's not what elegant women are aiming for. So what do I wear instead? I look for matte, softly finished materials like brushed suede, glove leather, or even matte patent in neutral shades. These textures feel rich without being loud. They invite the eye in instead of bouncing light back at it. A favorite of mine is Chloe's Lauren Flat in soft blush or warm taupe. It has a beautiful scalloped edge that adds just the right touch of femininity, but the finish is elegant and understated. If you prefer a classic ballet style, Repetto Paris offers supple flats in just the right satin sheen, never too glossy, never too flat. Their blush, navy, and dove gray shades work seamlessly with capsule wardrobes built on quiet luxury. The key here is texture. When the texture of your shoe complements the softness of your clothing, your entire outfit feels cohesive, intentional, grown up, not in the aging sense, but in the self-assured one. Because elegance doesn't shine like plastic, it glows from within. 11th, overly casual slides that flatten your outfit. You've probably seen them, or maybe even slipped them on yourself. Those ultra-casual slides made of rubber, foam, or plastic that were meant for the pool, but somehow made their way into everyday wear. They're convenient, they're easy, but they're also quietly undoing the effort you put into the rest of your look. The problem isn't just the material, it's the energy they bring. These slides flatten your posture, shorten your stride, and send a message of just threw this on, even if the rest of your outfit says otherwise. True elegance, especially after 50, isn't about always being dressed up. It's about being intentionally relaxed, and that includes your off-duty shoes. So what do I reach for instead? A minimal leather slide with thoughtful shaping, beautiful texture, and structure. Something like ancient Greek sandals in soft brown or ivory leather, or the rose Ginza sandal, which is clean, sculptural, and quietly luxurious. Even a suede crossover slide with a contoured footbed like ATP Atelier's Rosa sandal adds grace to a casual outfit. These options still say ease, but they also say taste. They belong with a linen dress and a woven tote, with wide-leg trousers and a silk button-down, with your most effortless self. Because we deserve comfort, but never at the cost of elegance. And there you have it, 8 shoes that elegant women over 50 simply don't wear anymore. Not because we're following fashion rules, but because we've outgrown what no longer reflects us. At this stage in life, every piece we choose, especially our shoes, should support who we are now. Graceful, confident, and quietly powerful. If today's video inspired you to rethink what's in your wardrobe, let me know in the comments. Which pair are you letting go of? And which elegant alternative are you most excited to try? You'll find all of my personal recommendations, refined flats, timeless loafers, sculpted heels, and quietly luxurious sneakers linked for you in the description below. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, stay graceful, stay intentional, and always walk like the elegant woman you are.